And begin.
Yay.
So it's funny. I'm looking at the very beginning of this video, and on the right side it shows my history, like of all the things I did, like how many times the pen touches the tablet. And we looked at a blank canvas, and yet it shows a long history of how many times I drew something. It's like pen tool, pen tool, pen tool, pen tool, every time you touch it. And then like the last thing it said, delete. So it's like, I drew a whole bunch of stuff. And then I was like, this looks terrible. Delete layer, stop recording. Delete recording. Start over again.
How many times did you do that?
Only that once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started drawing something and it just looked bad. I'm just like, well, no, let me start over again. So.
And which penguin is this?
This is War. Yay.
No. I don't know why I said yay.
Yay for War.
I don't know. The penguins are just cute. And I'm just like, yay. Penguins.
Well, that's the idea. Obviously, the horsemen of the apocalypse are not supposed to be cute images. But I always like the juxtaposition of stuff that's supposed to be mean or whatever and violent, but make it cute and funny. And it just always, I don't know, I just like that combination of stuff. If you looked at this right here, that medallion in the middle of this cape,
It's Max.
that's Max. I always try to hide a Sam and Max reference in a lot of my pictures. And even how the cape comes off of that medallion, that's like his ears.
Yeah.
Because he's like a rabbit. Or they say he's a hyperkinetic rabbity thing. Lagomorph, that's what they call him.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know what that means, but that's the only time I've ever seen that word. It was in Sam and Max.
I was going to say, and for people who don't know, it's based off of Sam and Max, a cartoon by Steve Purcell, right?
Yeah. It was like a comic. He had a bunch of little comics in these Lucasfilm or LucasArts newsletters. I think he did a bunch of artwork for Zach McCracken and the Alien Mindbenders. He did Monkey Island 2, I think. He might have done the first one, too. But I don't know if he did everything, but I know he did a lot of the art design. I mean, I'm not super up on all the history, but I just like his artwork. I guess that's weird. Like, there's some people I know that are real into an artist, and they like follow them and they know everything about them and their entire history. Like, oh, they did the comic run from this year to this year and this and this, and but like, I like Steve Purcell's art, and I know him best from the Surfing the Highway collective book. But I didn't follow his entire career, you know?
That doesn't mean you're not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan, but like, I guess maybe some people would say you're not a true fan because you don't know everything about this person.
You're not hardcore.
I guess. But it's really, I don't know, that's not my thing. I like what I like, and it doesn't mean I'm going to follow everything.
Sorry, I'm watching your, you draw the hat and then erase it, draw a different hat, and I saw the actual army helmet, and then you had like a card with an ace like tucked into it, and then you erased that and then went back to the Viking looking helmet.
Yeah,
So,
that's how I work.
I actually didn't know that you changed the hat and then went back.
I went through several different hats, and my first version had a different hat, so
I like the Viking.
yeah, that seemed to work the best. Like, I don't know. I couldn't make up my mind. Like, the Viking helmet looked good, and then as I was drawing it, it didn't to me. I'm like, no, this is bad. Let me try other helmets. So actually, in the middle of that, I paused the video recording and Googled different helmets. So I had reference material up on the other screen. And then I started drawing helmets and like didn't like any of them. So, but I kept it in the video where I drew it and erased it. Oh well, I keep some of my mistakes. I say I keep all of them, but I don't. I definitely keep more than I used to.
I feel like you can learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's definitely something I should do. I should try to keep more of that stuff so I can reference even my old garbage. That sword, I actually used a different ruler that I learned how to use. It was like I forget what it's called, symmetrical ruler. I think it, like you draw a center point line, and then you only have to draw half of the image, and it mirrors it on the other side.
Oh, okay.
I found that pretty handy for drawing things like swords and stuff that are supposed to be symmetrical.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, like, it just comes off looking weird.
But we were talking about fans or fandoms or is that what they're called? Fandoms, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I mean, I guess I'm a fan of Steve Purcell's work, but I don't I don't do fandom like other people do, I guess. That was another thing that I was trying to think of before, where, and maybe we talked about it before on another recording about doing fan art.
I don't think we talked about it on another recording. We've just talked about it.
Okay, well then we'll talk about it now.
Okay.
Because like I don't, and this is partly why I'm probably people don't know my art as well, is because I don't do fan art really. I don't draw other people's stuff because that kind of feels weird to me.
Yeah.
I draw my characters, which nobody knows because they're not famous. Like I could draw like a Spider-Man or Batman and everyone recognizes that. I did do one thing that had a Batman theme to it, and I put it on Instagram, and I got a lot more likes for that than anything that I put that was just my own. Because that's how people work. They're like, oh, I know that thing. Click.
Right.
And they see stuff they don't know, and they're like, oh, just skip right by that because it doesn't jump out at me as something I already know. But people aren't willing to try to just appreciate things they don't know. Which is weird, because how is anything new going to ever be invented if nobody's ever looking for new stuff? And they're always just hanging on to things they already know.
I think there was a conversation or something that I scrolled past, I think, on Twitter, talking about why are all these television shows and movies being remade? Why isn't there anything new out there? Because there's a lot of young talent that people have noticed that could be working on TV or movies. New, what do they call it, IPs? Or whatever. But yet they keep, like, remaking stuff.
Yeah. It's been like that for a while.
I know.
But it's, I mean, that's the same thing. It's because, well, when it comes to, like, movies and TV, it's not even about what IP you're making. It's about money. And you're not going to instantly make money doing something new. Because how do you gain an audience for something that people haven't seen before?
Right.
But if you have something that everybody knows, that's why there's so many different Batman movies that all feature his parents getting killed. You know, we've all seen it. It's like a meme at this point. But it keeps happening, and they keep doing it, and they keep making money. So if we just keep recycling stuff that people know, it'll still make money, and that's all that's important. It's rarely important to people to have something new and different, and something that, like, challenges the industry of any kind, like comics or cartoons or movies or anything. But just having a new idea isn't guaranteed paycheck. So I mean, that's my guess, and that's that's the way I think. Because, like, I guess I'm cynical sometimes, and it's not. New ideas don't make money, and recycling ideas always has. So why would they change?
I think it was the tweet about the new supermarket sweep.
Oh, there's a new supermarket sweep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they all have to wear masks?
Oh, I don't know.
Whenever I have to go to the supermarket, that's what I have to do. So.
No, I don't know, but yeah, they've made a new supermarket sweep show.
Okay.
And I was like, holy shit, I remember that show. You could actually even find the old reruns on, what's that channel?
It's on Netflix, too.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. But they have
I
like
couldn't remember if it was on Pluto.
Yeah,
TV
Pluto
or,
TV had a channel of it.
Yeah.
It was like game shows and stuff.
like the old American Gladiators.
American Gladiators has its own channel on Pluto.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where it's only American Gladiators.
I used to love watching that as a kid.
Supermarket sweep.
Yup.
How's that even relatable today? You could just go online and order your groceries.
I don't know. Shit is so weird these days. But, I don't know, maybe I'm just starting to sound old. Like, I remember back in the day when, you know.
Back when I was a kid, you used to have to go to the supermarket and buy food. Now you can just have them bring it to your house.
Yeah.
You young folks are so lazy. I don't know. I prefer to do that too.
Right?
I'm not gonna complain.
Shit, I'm probably making noise putting my feet up on that desk.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We changed the microphone setup a little bit, so it might not pick up as much noise and hums and all kinds of stuff.
I just realized I was rocking and like I could hear a little bit of a creak, you know, in my chair, and I'm like, oh shit.
So you wanted me to mention this kitchen sink project, and
I mean, if you want to,
I mean, I'll talk about it because it leads to some weird stuff, and like I guess it leads to the weirdness that is me. In that, like, okay, so backing up, we live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the United States, and there's a group that I guess was getting together, trying to locate a bunch of artists.
locally.
Yeah, trying to find some local artists to do this project where they were going to have their art featured on these hand washing stations that they were going to build around the city to, you know, encourage cleanliness and good hygiene and stuff like that.
Because we have the plague going around.
Right. Well, I guess depending on when you watch this video, we had a plague.
Yeah, the coronavirus. Yay.
The historical moments in time in the year 2020.
Yep.
So yeah, they're trying to do this hygiene thing, and they have these panels that are going to be on the back of these hand washing stations.
But no, we still have the plague going around.
Well, we currently do.
Yes.
I don't know what the future's going to be, so.
We're all dead.
Well, then nobody watches this video.
Okay.
So this project was going to feature these artists on the panels that were like on the back of this. I keep calling it a kitchen sink because it's easier just to say that instead of hand washing station. So they're going to have these kitchen sinks with these artists' stuff on it. And my one friend wanted me to submit I guess to throw my hat into the ring to try to see if I would get picked. And like I considered it, I really did, because I know he believed in me, and a lot of people that I mentioned it to were all like, yeah, you should do it, definitely. And I fully intended on doing it. And like the closer that the deadline came to submitting your artwork to be considered, I started to flake out and decided I don't want to do it. And half of me doesn't know why, you know? Like, I partially didn't want to do it because, like, I don't know. Why didn't I want to do this?
Well, you have other things going on that you're trying to finish. Like other artwork for other people who are paying, who have already paid. Plus, we got work on the house that needs done.
Yeah, that wasn't really the reason I didn't. Maybe I said that, but that's not what it was.
Well, I know, that's just part of it. There was more to it. And now it's been a while since we've talked about it, and I forget. But at the time, I mean, it was valid, and it was very you. Why you didn't want to do it.
It was more like
Because there was also the possibility of having to collaborate with another artist.
Well, that's a problem I have. I probably just need to get over that. I can't force that. But
Right.
I think it's really like, I guess, a fear of fame, which I don't. I guess it kind of ties into that one thing I posted in our Discord about shit. The words are escaping me.
Imposter syndrome?
Yeah, imposter syndrome. It's kind of like that, where if I were to, let's say, the way I thought about it, in worst case scenario would be that I would get chosen to do it. And I know that's backwards.
Worst case, yeah.
Yeah, worst case scenario, I win. And I make money to do this job, and I didn't really want to do it. Because if I had to collaborate with another artist, and if I had to really get my art out there, I kind of feel like it would be, oh great, now everybody sees that I'm not good, or I'm a fraud, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now it's in public, and everybody can see how bad my stuff really is. It's not just me thinking it to myself anymore. It's out there. And,
Yeah, but if you get picked, obviously your stuff doesn't suck. People wanted you for this project because they thought you were good. So, I mean,
Well,
doesn't that negate your feeling of like, oh, my stuff's out there and they'll see how bad I suck?
Well, I mean, your logic is sound. That's 100% accurate, and it's a good way to think of it. But I can't say that my brain worked on logic.
No, I know.
That's just how it was. Like, I just felt like if it gets out there, people will see my stuff, and they'll see that I really don't know what I'm doing. And, like, I don't know how to draw, and I'm really bad at this, and everybody's so much better. Like, that's just how my brain works. And I'm finding out that not just mine. A lot of people feel that way. And potentially everybody at some point in their lives feels that way. And I thought it was just kind of just me. But it's not. But that was part of it. And, like, I guess that's kind of why I have, like, a fear of success. But then, like, I didn't really want to... I don't know. I didn't really want my stuff... I don't really want that out there, I guess. Is that weird? Like... Because it made that feel like that was going to be a job. If I were to get picked to do that, then it would be like...
Oh, I think that's what it was.
You now have a job to do this thing.
And you have a time limit to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, time limits aren't always bad. Sometimes I work well with deadlines. It kind of motivates me to work harder on something. But
Hey, but one of the reasons why you kind of didn't draw for a very long time was because you felt like it was a job and you were starting to hate drawing. And drawing, you've always loved it. I mean, long before we met. And to have it feel forced upon you, I think... maybe not scared you, but made you realize, well, I don't want to end up hating what I love in the end,
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that's a good representation.
Pancake.
What?
I said, come on, Pancake.
Oh.
She's pawing at me like she wants on my lap.
Oh, we have a visitor.
Yeah, come on.
Are you coming up? I was told we're supposed to have more guest appearances, so...
Hi, Pancake.
This is Pancake. You can't hear her because she's always silent. The other one is the loud one.
Yeah. Also, she's a cat, so she can't speak English.
Oh, I'll pick you up. Come here.
She could purr real loud, though. She's a daddy's girl anyway.
So yeah, that's the kitchen sink story. It doesn't really have an ending other than I did not submit my information and let the deadline pass. And I kind of feel a little... It's weird, I feel relieved that I didn't do it, even though I know that I sort of disappointed a few people. But that's, I'm okay with that. I don't feel the pressure. And I don't like feeling pressure. I get enough of that on a daily basis. I don't need that
Yeah, it's your real job.
I don't need a thing that I love to be creating pressure for me. So
Was it also, the whole, like, not that, like, you have an ego about it, like, oh, I'm gonna be famous after this, especially if I get picked, but, there's always a chance that if somebody sees your artwork and they might want to commission you for more and more and more, and your stuff really gets out there, and then, yeah, you might become famous, but that's the thing with you, you're not about fame.
no, I'm really not. Like I don't want it. I don't want fame at all. I don't know.
Because at first you said that you thought it might be cool to do this as like for a living, make money drawing, doing what you love. But as you got older and you've gained more experience and you realized, you realized that it wasn't about the fame anymore, and there was the big possibility of doing what you love would turn it more into work and something you ended up hating.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. I had a conversation with somebody just the other day, similar to this, because she did art, and she did like emotes and stuff for people, and we were having a conversation about like why she doesn't really want to do it anymore, and I think it had a lot to do with the pressure of it being a job. Like when people were paying you, even if like the people paying you aren't saying, well, you need to do it this way, do it my way because I own you, I paid you for this, so you
Right.
belong to me, which I've never experienced anybody being that way, but I kind of put it on myself to do it like that. I'm just trying to find. I'm actually searching. This does not make good podcasting. I'm searching through my through my DM to find it.
Well, for any long pauses, you just edit them out.
Yeah, I have editing, so we'll do that. I said I don't
Nice.
draw for a living. I do it for fun. And she's like, well, some things you just do for you, for fun. And it stays more fun if you don't ask money for it. At least that's how I experienced it. And she said, for me, I like to do things at my own pace, and sometimes I don't want to do anything. And then I don't have to because no one's paying me. So it's real low pressure. And if I'm drawing something for somebody, but I'm not asking for money to do it, it's because I just want to do it, because I almost get more out of it by making someone happy than I do making money doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that when I started doing emotes and stuff, that was not my attitude towards it. Like, I was like, I'm not going to draw anymore unless I'm getting paid to do it, because I'm worth it, damn it. And, for a minute, I mean, I didn't say those exact words, but
Right.
like that was kind of my thought process. And I've since changed my mind, which is weird, but I did. And now it's more about like, maybe it's because I'm now having more fun doing it, and the fact that people
and you
enjoy
still
it.
are getting paid.
I am, even even though I argue about it.
Yeah.
So like, how much do I pay you? And I'm like, nothing. Nope, that's unacceptable. Oh, okay. But I mean, I guess that's a unique position to be in.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm fortunate that I have, a full-time job that pays for our life.
Yeah.
So I don't need to rely on getting paid to do art in order to survive.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not blind to the fact that I have that, that in my life. But what I'm trying to do is, like, if I do make money doing art, like, I kind of been turning it back onto other people. Like, there's some streamers that I do watch, and I ended up, like, donating money or something, or the bits and all that stuff. Because I don't.
You've gifted some subs.
I feel weird keeping it at this point, which is strange. Like, what am I gonna do with it? I don't need anything. The only time I even buy anything is if the thing I have is broken.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care about upgrading anything. I just kind of keep what I have, and if it breaks, then I replace it. But I don't see anything in the immediate future, anything breaking.
But taking this conversation, some people might take it out of context and say, well, right, you don't need to pay artists then. Because that's a whole different ballgame right there. Like,
I guess, yeah, you're right. That's probably not... That's a slippery slope there.
yeah. Because you don't want to give the impression that, oh, yeah, you definitely don't have to pay artists. Because, yeah, you fucking do.
Yeah. Man, that really does make me sound like a hypocrite. I don't like that. Well, how do I balance that out?
Well, that's your personal take on it. You're still getting paid. People are still paying you, and they are still offering and asking how much. But there are times where somebody comes in and says, "Hey, can you draw this for me?" Just like that.
Yeah.
Or I want you to draw this for me. It's like, depending on like the tone that they kind of give off, you can sort of tell in the beginning of the conversation, like, oh, they just want this for free because they think they are too good to pay artists. They think they're really awesome and the best streamers that people should want to draw for them. There's people like that out there.
It's an entitlement.
Yeah. There are people out there that think like that, and then there are other people that are like, no, you can't do the work yourself, you pay the artist for the work. And those are decent people. Those are nice, decent people, and they know that it's still work. People still need to get paid for it. Now, depending on how well you know somebody over time, and how much you're, especially you're getting back into drawing and you're really enjoying it now, that you can be like, nah, you know what, this one's on me, because I enjoyed it, we're friends, here, I would like you to have this. And some people, like you said, have still insisted on paying you. And like I said, those are the honest, decent people.
Yeah. And I don't want to be insulting if somebody's insisting on paying me, because I know that can come across as like, why you got to be an asshole about it? I want to, because it helps clear people's conscience too. If if they feel that they should pay for something, and if you're trying to give it to them for nothing, and they argue with you, like, oh, okay, I guess maybe I'm going too extreme one way and then the other way. I started off, everybody should pay me because artists should get paid, and now I'm like, I don't care about getting paid. Maybe I should find a balance with that, because it sure does seem like I'm a hypocrite. And I didn't think about that until you just pointed it out. So I guess this is an epiphany moment.
Hypocrite _ that I done. I mean, I do believe that there are certain situations where it's like, you don't have to accept the money, or you don't have to ask to be paid for something. I just think it depends on who you're working with, how well you know them, how long you've been friends, and the type of person that they are too. Like, yeah, you guys could still be friends, but they obviously see the value in your work, and they're like, no, you deserve to be paid, so they pay you. But especially if it's something that somebody does for a living, that they need to be paid to pay their bills, that I guess would be a different story there too, because as we've said before, you have a full-time job already. This is something you do on the side. But yeah, if somebody's doing it for a living, then yeah, you pay them.
That's the thing. I guess I don't want to give off the impression that artists all do their work on the side. And they all have full-time jobs, and this is just, you do it for fun. Because I have seen that, where people were like, well, what, you're just doing this on the side. I'm trying to stream for a living, So you need to help me out as the streamer.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just if I and I haven't, but if I ran across someone like that, it's real easy to say no to that job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did have one job, one of the first commissions that I took, and I didn't take any money up front, but I did expect that he would pay me. He paid me in online currency for his channel that I wasn't following in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wasn't even a follower of his channel. And while he was streaming, I gave him the picture I drew, and he left it up to his chat on how much of his fake online currency he should give me.
Yeah, that was a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah. He's like, hey everybody, how much should we give him? 100 nuts? 500 nuts? I'm like, dude, that's just typing a number in your keyboard that has no value. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
Giving me currency to a channel I don't follow. I don't understand. Like, what am I even doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, I got taken advantage of there.
Yeah, you learned after that.
When I was younger, I think I was right out of high school. I was in college, probably in my first or second year of college, and I don't even remember how I got into contact with this guy, but it might have been through somebody I know or knew at the time or what, but he wanted a character designed for some company that he was starting on his own. He was making candles out of beeswax with hemp wicks, and he wanted a cartoon bee as like his logo that was like leaning up against a marijuana plant smoking one of his candles. I'm like, okay, like, sure, that's dumb, but we'll do it. And so I drew up a few designs, and this is before the internet was a thing, really, because I'm old. And
Well, the internet was around in the 90s, mind you,
I know,
but
it was around.
It wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
The only way I had access to it was to use the computer lab at school, so I didn't have it at home.
Right.
But so I ended up I met this guy at a restaurant locally, face to face, and I brought the stuff that I drew. None of it was done digitally, so I had it all on paper. And while I was sitting there having a conversation with him, he was like, oh, I like this one and this one. And then he reached and tried to grab them from my hands, and he's like, do you mind if I take these? And I looked at him and I pulled them back real quick, and I'm like, yes. You can't just take these things. These are mine.
Right.
Well, wait, you were doing this for me. Yeah, you can't just take things from people, And I don't remember exactly how the words went, but I know he argued with me about he was looking to hire me, and if he likes these designs, he wants to take them and workshop them. But if he likes them, then we can work together. And I guess indicating at that point he was going to pay me. Mm-hmm. But before then, he wanted to just steal them literally out of my hands and walk away. And I ended up not physically fighting him about it, but I argued with him about it, and then he left empty-handed, and I never heard from him again. So yeah, I almost had art stolen from me, literally out of my hands.
He sounds like a lovely guy.
Yeah, I don't know what ever happened to that guy. I don't even remember his name or the company or anything. Or I'd say we should go and see how his company's doing now. And badmouth him on the internet like a good troll.
Like a good troll. Yeah, lessons learned.
Yeah. So that's my story of art thievery.
The end.
Yeah.
I wonder if the microphone could pick up the crows.
Probably. I'll probably have to edit out the crow sounds. It sounds like we're living in a horror movie.
Yeah, I got the hawks, the crows, the coyotes, apparently now.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, we never used to have them. But
Turkeys.
yeah, killer turkeys. I don't see the groundhogs as much anymore, or actually the deer. I don't see the deer as much because, for whatever reason, our pear tree.
I saw them yesterday when I was
Did you?
cutting the
Okay. I
grass.
was gonna say because our pear tree hasn't really bloomed any pears. Is it bloomed pear? Like, what's the terminology there?
Grown.
Sure.
Produced.
Produced pears. Yeah. Okay. I know words. But yeah, I haven't really seen any pears on the tree this year because for most of the summer it was blazing hot and we had no rain until recently.
Yeah, and then the rain we get is like flooding. So it's either drought conditions or flooding conditions. We don't get anything in between anymore.
No. I used to love the changing of the seasons.
Now they change every day.
Yeah. Drastically.
Oh well.
It's almost boot weather. I can almost put my boots on.
It's almost boot weather.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I like wearing my jeans and my boots.
Yeah.
And my hoodies. So you never actually know what shape I'm in, like, other than hoodie shape.
I've heard hoodie weather before. I never heard boot weather.
Well, I wear a lot of boots in the fall, in the winter.
Man, I changed those eyes like 6 times.
I saw that.
I was just struggling with this one. I don't know why. There were parts of it that I just kept changing over and over and over again. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what the second hat was I was trying to do. It had like teeth on it or something. I'm like, no, that's bad. Then I go to this military hat, this helmet hat. Yeah, it's a hat. The ace of spades and the mesh.
Yeah, so while we're
like,
sitting
no.
here talking, the video of him drawing is actually on loop for us.
Yeah. I figured people could figure that out.
But just in case they weren't sure, because by the time, like, you edit this down and then, you know, a couple days later you also put out the full version of us just sitting here blabbing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Which we
looped.
do have people that listen to, I found out.
That's cool.
Hi, Lego.
Hi. I think 4. I think Fortune even said
Oh, did she?
she watched it.
Hi, Fortune.
I think.
Get shout outs. I'm a celebrity now. There goes my fame. I'm gonna go kill myself.
Don't say that.
Oh. That was sarcasm.
Yeah, there's some people that might not hear the sarcasm.
Yeah, I realize that now. Well, you want to wrap this up? Probably gone for about, 45 minutes or so?
Oh, roughly, yeah.
No, like 37 minutes.
Oh, you want to keep going?
No, I'm done talking to you.
Okay, I'm gonna go in the other room and watch D&D.
I'll talk to you Friday.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for staying this long and being patient with all the dumb stuff that we talk about.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Goodbye.
bye.